UE Master is a brilliant initiative of universal education. It was founded 4 years ago on March 7, 2018, and acquired the charter from the Toastmasters International on July 18, 2009. It is certainly worth mentioning that UE Toastmasters has organized 62 regular and special meetings in a short period of time. It is incredibly fascinating to view that this international forum fosters the communication and leadership skills of the students.
Sir, a little bit distortion from your side. No audible for us.
Okay, am I audible now?
Sir, distortions are coming.
Okay, so I don't know what to do. I can sign in again, sign out and sign in again.
Sir, I think you are using headphones.
Yeah, there was some problem with my desktop. I was not able to sign.
Sir, your voice is very low, but distortion is very high.
The gadget is not properly working, sir.
Okay, so I welcome all of you on the second day conference. Thank you all. Start your program. Thank you again.
Thank you. That was Professor Dr. Mohammed Arshad. There was a bit of a distortion on his side, but what he was trying to tell us was that he's happy that this event was organized on such a short notice, and he would like to welcome all of you. Unfortunately, technical difficulties do come in these online formats, but that's the new reality. Moving on to our topic, which is communicating strategically in the 21st century. We'd like to start with our panel discussion. We have a panel of experts who will be giving their views about this, and this discussion will be moderated by our very own area director, Toastmaster Syed Azam Ali. Syed Azam Ali is an accountant by profession, working in internal audit in the Century Paper Toastmasters Mill, and he has been a Toastmaster and a member of 2 different clubs, from Century Paper Toastmasters and from CA Toastmaster Club Lahore. Please put your hands together as a moderator for this panel, Toastmaster Azam Ali.
Thank you very much, DTM Zunair Zafar, and thank you very much, Toastmaster Club XCOM for arranging this wonderful event. And dear students and fellow Toastmasters, the leadership is very important. A few days back, I was looking at a graph that the service sector contribution in the total growth of Pakistan economy is increasing. And I think most of the people would be happy on this. But would you believe that this increase belong to the, what's coming in your mind? This increase belong to the, maybe the growth of the IT sector? No, it's not. Maybe you think that the share of consultancy and chartered accountants is going to increase. Again, the question is no. And actually, our trading sector of the economy is growing. Mean we are bringing the goods from the abroad and selling into our market. And this is the area actually where we are lacking the leadership. We need the leadership who produce the services or the goods within the company, within the country, and export them. The second important trait is the communication. Communication is an important trait of the leadership, and it is relevant with every sphere of life, with the personal life, with the organization life. So today the theme of the meeting is leadership and communicating strategically in the 21st century. And we have a wonderful panelist with us. Let me introduce them one by one. Our first panelist is our district director. He is 43 years old and father of 4. He is an avid reader and sci-fi geek. He's a writer, blogger, professional trainer. By profession, he's a chartered accountant and heading an internal audit function of the Citizen Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that provides quality education to children in underprivileged areas. He's Toastmaster since 2016 and attained DTM in 2019. And now he's 3 times DTM. So with a big round of applause, please welcome our district director, Talha bin Hamid. Talha bin Hamid, please, yeah, he is here. Thank you, sir, for being here. And our second panelist is our program quality director. He's also a chartered accountant by profession, and he's a senior manager in A.F. Ferguson and Company Chartered Accountant. He is currently a program quality director, and he is a Toastmaster coach and mentor by passion. He loves to helping people. And with a big round of applause, please welcome our program quality director, Malik Muhammad Umair.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azam. It's lovely to be here with all of you.
Thank you very much. And our third panelist again is a wonderful Toastmaster. Let me share his profile. He's none other than DTM Atif Irfan. He's a Toastmaster, professional engineer, trainer, mentor, coach, and public speaker. He's a certified professional civil engineer, certified project management professional from PMI. And he has so many achievements. Let me read out few of them. He's a distinguished Toastmaster twice. He's a certified pathway educational program mentor. He's a club growth director now, and he has served almost all the positions at the club level and in the district. So please help me welcome to our program club growth director, DTM Atif Irfan. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you very much. It's a great opportunity, and the topic today is marvelous. I love to talk on that. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, sir. And our fourth panelist is the president of CA Toastmaster Club Lahore. He's none other than Toastmaster Adnan Hamid Khokar. And he's an entrepreneur, and he's the managing partner of HK and Company Chartered Accountant. He has a vast experience of leadership and management in various industries in cross-cultural environment. He's also a motivational and public speaker and conduct corporate trainings and deliver lectures on public speaking and communication skills. So please welcome Adnan Hamid Khokar for joining us here.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Azam, for inviting me and making me part of this and wonderful event. And I wish all of you are having a wonderful time ahead with the great people around us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, dear students and the audience, as our topic is leadership and communication, so we'll start. In the start, we'll discuss the basic elements of the leadership and communication, and then we'll move to the advanced level of these topics. So first of all, I would like to ask a very basic question from our panelist, one of the panelists, Malik Muhammad Umair, to actually what does he think about the leadership, or how does he define the leadership? So DTM Malik Umair, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azam. This is a very interesting question. I strongly believe that leadership is individual. Everyone has their own definition of leadership. And if we enter the term leadership in Amazon or in Google, we'll see more than 200,000 plus definitions of leadership. So I strongly believe that leadership is individual, and we need to listen to others to shift our definition of leadership according to the group of people that we're working with. When I talk about myself, I think there are 4 basic attributes of a leader that should be there no matter what the definition of leadership is that anyone is following. That is respect, integrity, service, and excellence. These four attributes, if they're present in a person, then he or she definitely is a leader. However, if we talk about the specific definition of leadership, it varies from individual to individual. Over to you, Toastmaster Azam.
Thank you very much, DTM Malik Mayor, on giving us your mind about the leadership. And now I would like to actually define the communication. What is the communication? For this question, I will move to Toastmaster Adnan Hamid Khokar to answer this. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Azam. And this is a very important topic you have given. Communication, if we just look at the definition, communication is a process of becoming a single point by your interpersonal skills, by your communication, by your words, by verbal and non-communications. But communication is the process by the way we transfer our ideas, our logics, and to come to a single point. And this is very important thing, because we have seen that over the years, the communication and the human voice has been considered as the most dangerous weapon for the change. And if we just look around, there are many leaders, orators, and the people with the visions has given the speeches who transpose the word, the course of the word, to change the course just because of their communication skills. It's not by the bullet, it's not by the gun, nor by the planes, not by the bombardment. It's just the words and the communication skills. That is very important, and we should all learn about the communications. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster Azam. You are mute, Azam. You are mute.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your words. And I would move to the DTM Atif Irfan. Sir, we often confuse about the managers and the leaders. Do you think that all the managers working in the organization or anywhere are the leaders? And what's the difference between the managers and the leaders?
Toastmaster Azam, yes, you very rightly said that all of us are very much confused because we are comparing wrong thing with the right thing. Can you compare an apple with an orange? If I asked you to do that, I don't think you will be able to do that in a right way. So I never compare a manager and a leader. Why? Because I believe that a manager rules the minds and bodies of the people around him or her. But what about a leader? That was a manager. Now comes a leader. And the leader is the one who rules the souls of the people around him or her. So this is the basic difference. So we cannot compare because they have absolutely different roles. And yes, that's right that a manager can become a leader. How? That if he or she learns how to rule the souls of the people around him or her. So once that art is learned, that science is learned, then that manager can be a leader. But otherwise, I don't think there is any comparison between a manager and a leader. That's my take on that.
Thank you very much, Atif Irfan. A leader is the one who rules the soul of the people. So very well done. And I would like to invite the Talha bin Hamid for the next question. Sir, actually, in the organization, we are very focused on the authority. Everyone thought that the authority is required to guide the people, to develop them. And do you think that the authority is important for a leader for the achievement of the goals and objectives? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azam, for that question. Authority is important. Authority is important because authority is what makes a leader leader. Authority is why people elect a leader. If everybody had authority, they would not need a leader. People want to give authority to someone they trust and in whose judgment on whose judgment they rely. And that's why they want to be led. And that's why leaders exist. But that said, authority without the right attitude is useless. In order to get things done, there should be authority, but there needs to be the right attitude. And the right attitude is that every leader should use their authority to uplift the entire team and the entire community. If that is not happening, that even if we achieve a lot, that is useless because that will be at the expense of people and people come first. So authority is important, but it should be exercised with the right attitude. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Talha bin Hamid. That authority is important, but with the correct attitude. Well, my next question is that we have to communicate in the organization. We have to communicate at different levels. Even in our personal life, we have communication with the different people, with the kids, with the relatives, with the parents. In the organization, we deal with the bosses, with the subordinates, with the peers. So, Toastmaster Adnan Kokar, how would you define these level of the communication?
First of all, I would like to tell Toastmaster, communication is an important thing, as we said, because and the leadership, if we just talk about the leadership is the capacity to transform vision into reality. And how we can transform this vision into reality? We have a process, we have a medium. And the communication is the only medium which can transform whatever you would like to have, whatever the objective you would like to achieve in your organization or anything, in your family even. You need to be a good communicators. That is why it is one of the most important traits of a leader to be a good communicator. Because a leader is not only just speak, he is also a good listener. And he organized all the thoughts into one point and then try to bring all the resources, all the people get gathered, just gather the thoughts and just move towards make the team and the people in the right direction to achieve the objective. This is why it is very important. And now if we have just look at the top 500 Fortune companies, they have developed the Toastmaster even in their organizations, just because they want to develop the communication skills and the communication culture in their organization. So this is a very important thing, I think so. Thank you.
Yeah. Very much. And let me inform to the audience about the question and answer. Question and answer session will be held at the end of this session. And if anyone want to ask the question, he can write in the chat box. And if you want to directly ask from our panelists, you should mention the name. Otherwise, it will be my prerogative to ask the question from any of the panelists. So over the period of time, we have the different tools of communication. In past, if we went back a century earlier, we have different tools. Now we have different tools. So my question from the DTM Atif Irfan is, what were the medium of communication in the past, what we have now, and what do you expect in the future, sir?
Okay, Toastmaster Azam, the persons who have read history, they know much better than me. But what I have read is that starting from those drum beats and then body language, signals, singing, and then rotary dials, I have seen them in my childhood. That's why probably you have asked this question to me, because I'm quite an old person. I have seen that past as well. And then cell phones, and then WhatsApp, and I don't know what's going to come in the future now. But what is the key point? It is getting quicker, and quicker. There was a time when I used to talk to some person in some other city, and I had to go for a trunk call and had to wait there for about 30, 40, 50 minutes or even some hours. And then the call got connected and then disconnected after 3 minutes that, okay, your time is up. So that's where I started my journey, even earlier than that. So that's what I see, that it's getting quicker and quicker. This is the basic difference. But the most important point that one needs to ponder on is that is it effective or ineffective? Where are we heading towards? So we are writing long messages, such things which are just meaningless on WhatsApp. We are talking for hours and hours. We have hours of screen time. But what are we getting from that? This is important. That's what we need to see. That is it effective or ineffective? And what is a true communication? Well, how I take it is that a word or a sentence that comes out from the heart and just reaches the heart of other person, and the other person says, yes, I got it. So this is the true kind of communication. So whether it's through a drum beat or it's through a WhatsApp message or whatever, so it should be effective, in my opinion. It doesn't matter what medium of communication is being used, how old it was or how new it is. Is it from an old guy like me or a young guy like you? It doesn't matter. It should be effective and it should be heart-touching. So that's the true point. Otherwise, we don't know where we are heading towards and how long it's going to go and what new means are going to be seen in our lives in coming years. Thank you.
Thank you very much for telling me, a young person. So believe me, but you have so much energy that even the young people actually always want to have such an energy and speak with such a passion. So in the organization, actually different people already have authority. So why should they communicate? Or they have decided the procedures and policies. So why there is a need of the communication? So my next question is from DTM Talha bin Hamid, whether communication is an option or it's a requirement. So over to you, sir, on this topic. Communication is an option or is it a requirement?
Of course, we are sitting in this event which has communication in its name. And we belong to Toastmasters, which imparts communication and leadership skills. So there's no question of communication not being essential. Communication is the backbone. And in fact, even God needs communication. So it started from him. And without communication, without proper communication, because see, look at how God communicates. God communicates by thinking about the target audience. And that's what we should try to emulate as well. Because if we communicate without thinking about whether our message should land or not land, and whether our audience should get the message, then it is useless, because then we are just flexing our own muscles. We are just doing it for ourselves. And that is the key to communication. You never, ever, ever do it for yourself. You always do it for others. So yes, communication is absolutely essential. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And as DTM Talha bin Hamid said, that communication is very important. So I would like to ask that could we change the lives through leadership and communication, and how could we do it? So I would like to ask from DTM Arthur Fan that how important it is that the leadership and communication skill to bring the change in the lives of the people. What do you say?
Okay, Toastmaster Azam, I'll first share my opinion on that and then what people say. I believe, and many people say that as well, that everyone is a leader, because the person who is leading, even a single person or even his or her own self, is a leader. So now what is a good leader? That matters. And similarly, what is communication? As I said, that communication has been for such a long time, since the time when there was life on earth. And now, what is good communication? That matters. So how important it is for us to have a good communication in life, and how can it change our lives? So I can tell you my story that when I was in my childhood, I was a very shy person, and you just said that you have a lot of energy, and sometimes the younger people like you find it difficult to create such energy. I don't believe that, but let me believe you just for a moment, just to proceed. So the thing is that whenever you are speaking from the heart, whenever you are speaking from the heart, and that's what really matters. Whatever I say is always from my heart. And that has changed my life because I was quite an introvert person in my childhood. And then Toastmaster changed my life. I became an entirely different person. So how it happened, how my life was changed. So this is that I'm going to quote right now, that there are two things which are mainly taught in Toastmasters. And the first thing is leadership and then communication. So I went forward in both of these things. I opted roles in the clubs, areas, division, and district prior. And so what I learned was that my life kept on changing with the passage of time. So I learned how to deal with people. There are so many people, they have different mindsets, and one learns to handle them and then communicate with them. So empathy, that is the thing that comes from this platform. You learn that how to stand and think in some other's shoes. And then of course, vision that is developed, and that is again through Toastmasters, that you learn that where am I heading, what is my personal vision in life, what is Toastmasters vision, what is my organization where I'm working for, what's the vision, how can I just integrate all these visions and make myself move forward. So this is what I learned, and I will be very honest in saying that this is all because of Toastmasters, and I learned from here, and it changed my life. So that's why I say that without any doubt that yes, absolutely yes, leadership and communication can change anyone's lives, and you will see that person an entirely different guy once you improve these two skills. In fact, this is just one skill, but if we take them as even two skills, you will see that person an entirely changed person in his life or her life. And you need to bring that person to Toastmasters. Otherwise, the journey will not be complete in any way. So that's my message. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The leadership and communication, of course, can change the lives of the people. And as I said earlier, that the way of communication are going to change. Then my next question is, how should the leaders communicate strategically in 21st century? So I would like to ask this from Malik Muhammad Umair. How should the leaders communicate strategically in 21st century?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azam. This is a very interesting question. And I believe that in the 21st century, leadership is all about collaboration and inclusiveness, because people are getting more and more aware of having their opinions heard. They're becoming more and more aware of what is it that they want out of life. So if a leader cannot collaborate and cannot include the team members within his vision, if a leader cannot sell his or her vision to the team members, then it's going to be very difficult to lead people to where they want to be. So if we are to communicate strategically in the 21st century and we want to be a successful leader, we have to be collaborative with whoever we want to lead, and we need to be inclusive of every person, regardless of the gender, regardless of the religion, regardless of their race, regardless of the fact that they're differently abled people. Regardless of everything, we have to be inclusive and we have to be collaborative. If we cannot do these two things, then it's going to be very, very difficult to be an effective leader. And last but not the least, listen actively. If we can listen actively and attentively, we can solve most of the problems of the people, because most often all people need is a listening ear. And if we can listen to understand, we will be able to determine what is it that the people want. And that is how we can be effective leader. So by being collaborative, by being inclusive, and by active listening, we can be a wonderful leader in this 21st century. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Malik Umair. And yes, you actually point out very important points that most of the time we don't listen to the people. We always try to emphasize our point of view. We don't try to understand the other person. So the listening is a very important skill, and which is also a very, actually Toastmaster have a very good program to improve the listen, to develop and improve the listening skills. So I would like to ask from Talha bin Hamid, actually the DTM Atif Irfan said that the Toastmaster changed his life. And I would like to ask in further detail from Toastmaster DTM Talha bin Hamid that how Toastmaster could help to create and develop communication and leadership.
Sorry, Toastmaster Azam, can you repeat the question, the last part?
Sure. How Toastmaster could help to create and develop communication and leadership skills and change the lives.
All right. Toastmasters is the easiest way for personal development. It's also the cheapest way. This is what many people don't realize, that when you enroll into formal training programs that are aimed at presentation skills, communication skills, or leadership skills, you will end up paying 20 times or 30 times the amount you would pay for Toastmasters fee for 6 months. And yet you will learn and then you will forget, because those programs are excellent, but they are one time. And I know that for a fact because I'm a trainer myself. I conduct some of those trainings as well. The magic of Toastmasters is that it's based on a very simple principle on which every other education program is based, and that is continuous time and effort. Just like you cannot obtain a degree without investing time and effort, you cannot excel in Toastmasters without investing time and effort. There is no shortcut to time. There is no shortcut to learning and reading the material and spending the time to develop your speeches and your skills. And this is what Toastmasters asks you to do. So, everyone who is listening, when you enroll into Toastmasters, and we know that, when you enroll into Toastmasters, the first sensation that we get is that we have once again enrolled into a college or university, because we get a curriculum to read and we get to develop speeches according to that. We get a set of rules to follow. It's by no means, and let me repeat, no matter what anybody else says, it is by no means a social platform. It is by no means a networking platform. Social networking is a byproduct, but Toastmasters is a first and foremost an education program. And when you educate yourself by investing your time and effort against a world-class curriculum that is developed by specialists, then there's no reason that you won't excel, because that is exactly the principle at which world's top universities function. Over to you, Toastmaster Azam.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid, and your point of view that there is no shortcut of time. Actually, in all sphere of life, it is true. Well, I have so many other questions of time, but due to the time limitation, I'm going to end this panel discussion, and I will, anyone from the audience, if you want to ask the question, you can ask, you can unmute yourself, or you can write in the chat box. And I have a message. Role of humbleness in leadership. Sometimes it benefits a lot, but sometimes it becomes the source of very easing in members. So how we manage it? So I would like to ask from DTM Atif Irfan that role of humbleness in leadership, sometimes it benefits a lot, but sometimes it becomes the source of very, sorry, I missed the answer. Sometimes it becomes the source of very easiness in members. So how we manage it? Over to you, DTM Atif Irfan.
Yes, yes, sure. Thank you very much. Humbleness is a personal trait, and we cannot connect it with the leadership. So once you have to be a good leader, there are, as DTM Omer said a few minutes ago, that there are 200,000 plus, 2,000 plus definitions of leadership. But I really believe that our national poet, Allama Muhammad Iqbal, he said that Nigeh buland sukhan dil nawaz jaan pursoz, yahi hai rakhte safar mere karwan ke liye. So what he says that vision, heart-touching communication, and empathy, these are the traits of a real leader. So if these traits are there and they are at their best, so other things, that the humbleness, these things, so they come as the side products. So you have to develop these traits in yourself for being a great leader. And being a humble person and being not a humble person, that varies from person to person. I can take a person as humble and the other guy may not be taking that person that humble. So this is this is a relative term, not an absolute term. So I would say that if we are comparing that how to be a good leader and what should be in a good leader and what should not be there in a good leader. So these three things: vision, heart-touching communication, and empathy. These are the three things that really make a leader.
Okay, thank you very much. This question was asked by Muhammad Abbas. Hopefully it was answered. And next question was asked. We have next question from Tanzila Kayyum. And she asked that, what's the leadership qualities to adopt while going through the leadership terms, like while formulating and presenting yourself? Okay, and I would like to invite DTM Malik Muhammad Umair to answer this question. What's the leadership qualities to adopt while going through the leadership terms? Like,
DTM Umair had to drop. He's not in the meeting at the moment.
Okay, and what's about the Talha bin Hamid? Is he here? He also have dropped. So I would like to ask from Adnan Hamid Khokar. What's the leadership quality to adopt while going through the leadership terms, like while formulating and presenting yourself?
Toastmaster, this is a wonderful question. As DTM Atif Irfan has said, that there are the certain traits which needs to have a leader. The first, he needs to be, if we just look at this, that he needs to be, should take the lead. He needs to be a confident person. He needs to be a man of words. Because if we just look at the leaders, they always think 100 times before speaking. Because it's a proven reality. They said that taste your words before spitting on others. And I would like to tell one of the favorite quote I have learned, that Simon Feud has said, words have the power, have the magic that brings the greatest of happiness and the deepest of despair. And if we just look at how the words change the dynamics of the things, if we just look at that, if we say stop, don't let it go, it has a different meaning. And if we said stop, don't let it go, that has a different meaning. So the leader, for a leader, it always, if we just look at it, always depends on the situation. Leader change his leadership qualities and the action to be taken as per the situation. We cannot say that leader is, if a leader is humble, he needs to be humble at all the times. If a leader is an authoritative leader, he needs to be authoritative. The leaders need to change as per the situation and as per the requirement of the situation. So this is a very important. We need to develop these qualities. A leader needs to develop these qualities. So he should be a reactive. A proper and effective communication can bring the things in into the normal, to bring in the control, and they can just finish everything. So these are the qualities I think the leader must build in themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adnan Khokar. And due to the limitation of time, I would like to ask question from DTM Atif Irfan. And this is a very relevant, interesting and this question is relevant with the most of the first people, either the new or the experience. And he asked that I do speech a lot of time, but sometimes my friends laugh due to some words that I may not pronounce correctly. Please guide me.
Yes, Toastmaster Azam, can you share the name of the person who asked this question? I would like to address him directly.
Yeah, he is Ahmad Shafi.
Okay, Ahmad Shafi, I would like to share a success story very short, in very short words. We started a club here in Lahore, and that was mainly for the persons who stammer, the strutters. So, you know, it's very difficult for them to say even a single word without strutting, and its life is very miserable for them, especially when they want to talk in front of the audience. So when we started there, I could see that their tongues got twisted like this, and they were not able to utter even a few words in a straight line. So what happened? The thing that mainly changed their life was confidence. And where did that confidence come from? That was from Toastmasters. They joined Toastmasters, and we told them that you are the best, you are second to none. And in just a few weeks' time, I could see them talking very well, at least 50% better than when they came here and joined the club. So what this teaches us is that confidence, first of all, believe in yourself. Whatever you are saying, whatever you are doing is best of the best. So don't stop it. But always keep on thinking that, yes, what are the areas of improvement? How can I improve myself? But never underestimate this. You are the best. And second is that rightly guided this platform, rightly guided platform, and that is Toastmasters. So once you join Toastmasters, and then you will practice, and you will be applauded whatever you do, and you will be guided in a very nice way, in a very polite way, and you will be told about your strengths and your weaknesses and how to do it better. That the day comes very quickly when you will be very confident, and you will say that, yes, I have achieved what I wanted to achieve, and people will start appreciating you. They will start listening to you, because you will get to know that what is real communication is, what is the true leadership is. So this is what counts most, that speak from your heart, don't underestimate yourself, be confident, and say what you want to say, and practice. So that's what the recipe of success is. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, DTM Adilfan, for responding wonderfully to this question, which is relevant with the most of the people. And I could see the hand raised by Tanzila Qayyum. Would you like to ask any question? Tanzila Qayyum, if you want to ask any question, kindly unmute yourself. Well, so,
yes,
sure.
sir, I'm here.
Okay, kindly ask your question.
I have questions in the message box, but my question remains incomplete. In my voice that as an academic writer, so I have made a platform that is on research academic writings for the bachelor students, basically, so that they can learn. So I want to develop my leadership skills, so then I can guide them. So in this way, I want guidance to you people, that how should I manage all the things in that, as like I'm on the only one.
So who would like to respond to this question? Nanhamid Khokar, would you like to have any comments?
Toastmaster, I think Tanzila, I could understand that Tanzila Qayyum has said that she has developed a platform somewhere where she is teaching people about the communication, the leadership. And she wanted to develop it in the more advanced manner. Tanzila listed the thing is for making an institution And we said you should have all the resources. As one of the panelists said that the Toastmaster is a platform where they have a curriculum. We have we have the 11 pathways different. It is as per the requirement of all the people. If I am looking for I want to become a leader, there is a pathway for the leadership, the leadership development, there is dynamic leadership. If I want to have a strategic relationship, there is a pathway for the strategic relationship. If you want to excel in your presentation, there's a presentation mastery. So there is a curriculum. We need to develop these things before we can offer other people. So because a person, when he or she is come to you, they have some perception, they have some ideas, they want to excel. But if we don't offer them a good curriculum and the good things, and if we are not able to develop these things in ourselves, because we are a brand in ourselves. Every individual is a brand. As DTM Atif Khan said earlier, that it is important that how you sell your brand, that is the important thing. So we need to develop a leadership traits in ourselves, and we have a solid, a constructive, a curriculum that can be offered, that can help the leaders. And we have said that we discussed the Toastmaster. Here leaders are made, and we learned that leaders are born. Here we say the leaders are made here, because they are getting through all these problems, the situations, and they craft themselves to become a leader. So I would like to ask you to please join one of the meetings of the Toastmaster Club. We have a number of meetings throughout the week. They are available on the website. You can join virtually. So you can see that how leadership traits are developed in those meetings.
Thank you very much, Adnan Khokar and Tanzila Qayyum. You can ask, you can contact anyone from us, and you can also contact to the president of your club, Dr. Humaira Irfan, who is the president of UE Toastmaster Club. You can contact me, Talha bin Hamid, Atif Irfan, Adnan Khokar, anyone for further guidance. So communication is very pertinent issue, and that's why we all are here to guide you. And we encourage to join the Toastmaster Club. And as we have exceeded the time, we have hand raised from Arisa Marys. So kindly, you can directly ask a question from me. Due to the limitation of time, I have to close this session. And fellow students, dear students and fellow Toastmaster, we have wonderful word from our panelists. And as one of our panelists said, that leader is the one who rules the soul of the people, and authority is important, but attitude is important. It is more important. Leader is the one who transforms vision into the reality. And Atif Khan said that actually it spoke from your heart, and communication is the backbone of the skills. Everyone is a leader speaking from heart. And we have words from DTM Malikumer: collaborative, inclusive, and listen actively. And those were the wonderful words from our speaker. And I would like to end this panel discussion session and hand over the charge back to the master of the ceremony, DTM Zunair Zafar. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Azam Ali, our panelist. I hope everyone can see me now. What a wonderful session that was, all about communication and leadership. As one of the panelists said, communication and leadership can change lives, and that's not a local phenomena. We tend to think that this is probably a problem with us in Pakistan, but I've traveled many countries. I've talked to people in. Someone muted me there. I've talked to people around the world, and communication is something that everyone, whether English is their native language or is some other language, they do feel this problem, because communication is not about the language that we are communicating in. It's about connecting with your audience. Maybe you can connect with your audience in a certain local language much better than English. But of course, English is such a language that connects us with many people around the world. And for that, we do have today some international speakers as well. Our next speaker, our guest speaker, is connecting from San Francisco today, from USA. She is distinguished Toastmaster Cynthia Stott. She is an executive leadership coach, an empowering beliefs coach, and a certified dream coach. Definitely a lot of coach there. She has been in the corporate and government sector for nearly 20 years and has been helping people create what they want since 2005. She specializes in aligning beliefs with success. Please help me welcome on this virtual podium. Put your hands together for DTM Cynthia Stott.
Thank you. Ah, wow. Well, I've accomplished so many things, but I started out with 6 strong phobias, fears, including public speaking. In fact, my nickname in college was Miss Wiggles. Because if you were sitting in my college speech class, you would have seen me shake and quiver, and my lips, my words could barely get out of my mouth. I turned not only red, I turned purple and almost passed out. But I have learned that I need to speak, lips quivering, knees knocking, almost passing out. Speak. Why? Number 1, JFK said it best. The only reason to give a speech is to change the world. If not the world, at least your world. Your sphere of influence. Your capacity to make a change. The next reason, well, when you follow your heart, you change the world, even if you don't know it. I was an examiner with the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the central bank of the US. I was an examiner for discrimination and consumer protection laws. And I could smell the discrimination in auto lending. I could feel it, but I couldn't prove it because we had too few of the loan files to look at. We couldn't get a sample. And so I have a degree in statistics and economics, and I pulled out a very obscure, at that time, it's not anymore, distribution called the T distribution. And it looked at small sample sizes. And I was able to create with our fair lending economist, we were able to create a program that could detect this, that could see the difference between. And I was determined to speak this, to create this in a way that we could bring it out to people. And I created the program and shared it with examiners, and we were able to nab 2 banks. I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. They went to the Department of Justice, and we were vindicated. And then 10 years later, I was having dinner with one of my clients who is a lawyer for the American auto industry. And she said that I changed the way, that spreadsheet changed the way that banks and auto dealerships do business across the nation. And it is even affecting the world. I was shocked. And then 2 months later, I was having dinner with my college roommate who knew me from those days of fear. And her son was going to apply at colleges. And I said to him, "What are you going to major in?" And he said, "Statistics." And I said, "Well, that's what I majored in." And he says, "I know." He was following in my footsteps. And then I asked him this question that almost knocked me off the chair. I said, "Have you ever heard of the student T distribution?" And he said, "You mean the one that's used for matched pair analysis in auto lending, determining discrimination in auto lending?" And I was shocked. He didn't know that was me, but his AP, his advanced placement statistics in high school, taught him the student T distribution with the information from my spreadsheet. So it not only changed how banks and auto dealerships do business, it changed the way that statistics was taught. So you never know. When you follow your heart, you do change the world. The second one is that speaking is about communication. It's not about language. And when you really communicate, you need to tap into your heart. Share from your heart. That's the way you connect with your audience, whether it's one person or 1,000. The heart is a very ancient language. The heart is a very ancient organ. And it was developed way before we had language. Even before we had paintings on cave walls. And it is the way that you can communicate, even if you have the wrong grammar or don't say the right words, or you have no words. When you communicate with your heart, you communicate on a deep level, on a human level, beyond language. And last, speaking. You need to speak because your people are waiting for you. When you have a calling that's been laid on your heart, you have people who are waiting for you, for that calling, for that message, and they're calling you forth. Now, I lived with 6 strong phobias for nearly 40 years. And why? How did that change? I had a calling that was laid upon my heart. And the first words out of my mouth were, "I better get to Toastmasters. I need to learn to speak to executives and to high-powered people to really make a change in the world." And that helped me to overcome my fears and to really face them and to become an international speaker coach and a global visibility influencer with over 47,000 followers in 140 plus countries. Me, Miss Wiggles, who was terrified of speaking. So your people are the other side of your coin to your calling. As humans, we all have thumbprints. It's just skin and lines, but every single thumbprint has been unique and different for every human since humans began. And forevermore. So even if you are a photographer or a graphic designer or a house designer, and there's thousands of people who do what you do, but no one does it like you do. No one has your unique background and experience, and even your wounds, the bad things that have happened to you in your life. Your people are waiting for you. In fact, they're praying for you with your unique gifts and talents and ways that you can reach them. Now, I'm a very spiritual person, and I've kept connected with God, and I talk with God, and he talks back. And I was walking up my waterfall steps in San Francisco, and I had finished and sat on a bench. And if you were sitting there with me, you would have heard God say to me, Cynthia, I have people who are praying for you, and I want to answer their prayers with you. And I said, well, that's my line, God. Of course, I'm ready to do that. Your people are waiting for you. In fact, they're praying for you. You are the answer to their prayers. And God said, no, you have no idea who is praying for you. And I want to know, are you willing? Are you willing to answer their prayers? I am merciful, and I will always answer their prayers. But I want to answer your people with you. Are you willing? I was so touched deeply. I started crying. And I said, I am willing. I am willing to serve. As Talib bin Hamid says, DTM Talib bin Hamid says, leadership is not about leading. It's about service. Are you willing to serve? And how you can best serve is to speak. Knees knocking, lips quivering, barely able to get your words out of your mouth, still speak. Because you will change the world when you speak. You will communicate with your heart. And you will speak to the people who are waiting for you, even praying for you. Because you are the answer to their prayers. So please speak. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Mr. Toastmaster, are you there? Well, I will take some questions then. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Questions about how you can speak better, how you can communicate with your heart, how you can serve the people that you are meant to serve. You can put your questions in the chat. Verna says, I felt every word, DTM Stott, as if you were looking and speaking directly to me. And that's because I was speaking to you from my heart to your heart, from my eyes to your eyes. When she speaks, her words directly touch listeners' heart. How can we develop this magic too? Sana, thank you. And Verna was the one that asked the other question. And I would say again, tapping into your heart to communicate, to really communicate with the people that you are meant to serve. When you tap into your heart, they will listen. They will hear you. And then Wasim says, this is the first time I am attending Toastmaster, and this is the best platform to improve communication skills. Yes, I attended the session with Cynthia a few days ago, and she's marvelous and awesome speaker. Above all, she smiles beautifully. Oh, thank you so much. How much, this is from Ijaz. How much does courtesy matter in communication? How much does courtesy matter? And how much time do we have left, Toastmaster?
So you can take like 2 to 3 minutes more, answer a couple of questions, and then we can move on.
Okay, I'll address the communication. How can we best communicate? Well, let's see. How much courtesy matters in communication? Courtesy actually is a word that comes from the court. It's how you act at the court. That's the original definition. And so, to me, an audience has a different meaning. An audience isn't just somebody you speak at, but you also listen to. As a speaker, I'm listening into your heart as I talk with you. Because an audience that is granted to with a sovereign means the sovereign's going to listen to you. You go to the court and you're going to be listened to. So we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. More important to listen. And as a sovereign, as a speaker that has an audience, you need to listen. The observer affects the observed. That's what's shared in physics. That's a principle in physics. When you look at someone, you can actually change them. And I was the 2015 district evaluation contest champion. And so when I teach people how to evaluate a speaker, I say, you listen to them, you look at them, you be the sacred witness to them. And that's courtesy raised to a high level, to be a sacred witness to your people. I think that's all we have time for, but I just want to say one more time, your people, the people you are meant to serve are waiting for you and praying for you. And you are the answer to their prayers. So speak, knees knocking, lips quivering, terrified to speak. Speak. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cynthia. What a wonderful message that was. What an amazing speech. And it keeps getting better and better. We head towards our keynote speaker now, who is an Emmy Award nominated inspirational speaker. Originally from Kingston, Jamaica, Mark Brown immigrated to the United States at the age of 18 with only $40 in his pocket and a dream for a better life. He spent 15 years working as a computer analyst before choosing to develop his public speaking skills. After recovering from a life-threatening illness in the summer of 1993, he made a commitment to excel as a communicator, earning a 1995 Harlem YMCA Black Achievers in Industry Award in the process. And that was not enough for him. In 1995, again, Mark defeated more than 20,000 contestants from 14 countries to win the illustrious Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking. And since then, he has delivered numerous presentations to countless people across the world, everywhere. So in your huge round of applause, please help me welcome on this virtual stage, DTM Mark Brown.
Greetings, friends. It is such a joy and a privilege to spend some time with you today. It is not too early in the morning for me here in Central Georgia, where I live, and I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to just spend some time with you and to talk a bit about communication and leadership. But the first thing I want to do is this. I want to give you a gift. You don't mind getting gifts, do you? You all like to get gifts. I'm going to give you a gift. I have had the privilege for the last 3 years, 2.5 years, to co-host a podcast called the Unforgettable Presentations Podcast. My co-host is Darren LaCroix, the 2001 World Champion of Public Speaking. I actually coached him when he was competing 21 years ago, and we have so much fun. This cost you absolutely 0 rupees, $0, zero anything. We simply share every week tips, tools, and ideas to help everyone become better communicators. We also get to interview some of the great speakers in the world, like Les Brown, several Toastmasters, keynote speakers like George Yang from a few years ago. And we simply share ideas to help everybody else become a better communicator. So simply get your mobile device. You can probably scan that photograph. It'll send you to the web page, or you can take a picture of it now or a screenshot now, and then scan that in later on. We want to help you to become good, to become great. Honestly, we want you to be an unforgettable presenter. And I share that with you absolutely free of charge. Now, perhaps you want to follow me later on. You can do that too. If you want to scan this QR code, you get a free MP3 and can see what I'm doing. But please, by all means, feel free to use what you would like and just discard what you don't. It's no big deal. My only goal today is to share with you a short journey that transformed my life because I was involved in a group called Toastmasters International. Now, I live in Central Georgia, but I was born in Jamaica. You were told that, right? Yeah, man, no problem. I was 18 years old when I left Jamaica to come to the USA. I had about 3 things. I had a suitcase I had 2 suitcases for clothes. I had $40 in my pocket, $40, and a dream for this brand new life. But I was carrying something else with me. And friends, please feel free to open your camera so I can see your face. I can see you yawn if I'm boring you. I can see you smile if I amuse you. I can see you laugh if I do something. The first camera open is my official Toastmaster stalker. There is one Toastmaster living in Greece who follows wherever I go. Panos Korelis, it is so good to see you, my friend. Welcome one more time. Welcome to you, my friend. Thank you all for opening your cameras. Thank you, brother. I came to America with a significant amount of naivete. Being a Jamaican in a very conservative, very nuclear family environment where everything was, so I was home, I was familiar, I was comfortable. I come to America with a much heavier Jamaican accent, you know. Yes, man, a Jamaican man like me. And not knowing much about the world, I had to go into adulthood quickly. And I didn't understand at the time the power of communication. But over the past 42 years, I'm going to laugh a while ago, of course, yes. Over the past 42 years, I realized back then I didn't understand the power of communication. Not until I went to my first Toastmasters meeting on December the 10th, 1992. How can I recall the exact date? Simple. I went to work at Reader's Digest in New York on Monday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, and I was told there's a Toastmasters club, you want to come and join us. I said, Toastmasters, wait, I know what that is. My uncle, the late Supreme Court Judge Courtney Orr, had started the very first Toastmasters Club in Jamaica in 1984. And I thought, well, if my uncle can do it, I can do it too. I went to the meeting all excited, and I was completely intimidated by the quality of communicators they had at Reader's Digest. I thought, wow, this is awesome. This is good. But I became a guest that day, and I remained a guest for 4 months. Now, anyone here who was not a Toastmaster, you have the opportunity, as you were told earlier, to join an organization where you can learn all these skills for 1/10 of the cost of other training programs. And here's the weird part, okay? My employer, Reader's Digest, it's a corporate club. My employer paid our members' dues for the employees. I still didn't join because I was that intimidated. Now you may say, wait, Mark, you're a world champion speaker. You have spoken all over the world and you were scared. Yes, you know why? Because I'm human. And many of us get a little concerned about how good somebody else is, but we can all develop the skills to communicate well through this wonderful medium called Toastmasters. And those who know my long story know it took me a couple of years to enter a speech contest. which I didn't plan to enter. I entered by accident, actually, to replace someone on 2 hours' notice. And that decision to say yes allowed me to compete in the contest 6 levels and end up in the 1994 World Championship of Public Speaking, which I absolutely lost. But I learned a key lesson along the way. By simply saying yes to an opportunity, I was given a chance to build a skill I desperately needed. See, here's the deal. I didn't fully understand, I said earlier, the power and the value of communication. But working at Reader's Digest taught me a very simple lesson. I believe we can all become excellent communicators and leaders. I didn't fully appreciate the opportunity, but what really got me going was an old-fashioned job posting notice board at Reader's Digest. Now, I don't know how many millennials are here who know what a notice board is for a job posting. We go to Indeed, we go online, and we go on Apple. No. I'm talking 1992 here. There was a physical board on the wall with a glass cover locked by a key. And they would post on the wall physical bits of paper. Here's a job posting. A chief financial officer, an admin assistant, an IT specialist, computer engineer, or someone to work in the mailroom. The jobs ran the gamut from high-paying 6-figure salaries to someone on an hourly wage. And they would give you the qualifications and they tell you what the job description was. But I learned something powerful. I would go by that notice board every day for lunch, and a common denominator struck me in the face. Every single job posting had one common line, no matter what the role was, and it was this: excellent written and verbal communication skills are required for this position. Now, please get this, my friends. It did not matter what the job was. The standard at Reader's Digest in New York was everybody who works for us must become an excellent communicator. That's why corporate management chose to pay the dues for every single employee who chose to be a member of Toastmasters. Please understand the vision it took to realize that if we educate our employees to be good communicators, we'll cultivate good leaders and our employees will rise to a standard of excellence. Let me ask you this. Are you investing effort and providing opportunity for people who you work with, people who you live with, people who you go to school with? Do you provide them an opportunity to build this powerful skill? It made all the difference to me when I realized they're paying your dues, Mark. It's an opportunity to learn to be a better communicator. Go for it. And this crazy Jamaican kid with a heavy Jamaican accent was able to learn some of the skills partially by participating in speech contests, whether evaluation or humorous or ISC International or a taped speech contest. But give yourself the opportunity, because get this, contests are great ways for us to practice the skills that we need. I will repeat that. I'm going to rewind that and repeat that. Okay. Contests are great opportunities for us to develop the skills that we need to be great communicators. Write that down. Put it in your brain. Put it on your phone, whatever it is. Make a note. Contests are opportunities. People say, I don't want to compete. Win, lose, or draw. I love what my high school soccer coach said. When I was coaching high school soccer, I say football in New York back in the 1990s. He said, guys, you win or you learn. You don't lose. You learn. I lost that first world title speech in 94. I didn't win even first, second, or third. I didn't win anything. But I learned. And I also learned I needed help and mentorship. And we talk about leaders as those who have vision, and that's great. But we think of leaders as those who run an organization or run a district or a division or an area. But leadership, to me, leadership means you have some degree of influence over somebody else. If they listen to you, you're a leader. If you're a parent, you're a leader. In a classroom, you're a leader. And I had to get mentorship. And Toastmasters provides just that. We have mentoring programs to help you develop these skills, not only as a communicator, but as a leader. I had no vision of this when I first joined Toastmasters, but I learned this along the way. And it was one exciting ride for me. Ups and downs, losses. And by the way, for those who are very familiar with Toastmasters contests, guess what? We're in contest season now. Woo-hoo! And people are winning and people are losing and people are getting upset. But listen, if you think this way, you win or you learn, there is growth. My profession right now went from Reader's Digest computer programming to full-time professional speaker. And then I was met by someone named COVID-19. And speaking went down the drain, almost dead. And I shifted my business model and I became more active as a coach. And I've gotten so many calls from speakers, both Toastmasters and professionals, who want help to become those who can speak and communicate gooder. Are you listening to the error? Okay. Who can communicate? Thank you very much, Verna. I love that. Verna, you're my favorite right now. You laugh, you smile, and your camera is on. Whoa, cool. I love that. Feel free, turn your cameras on and laugh at me or laugh with me. I'm going to have fun today. Is that okay? I don't care what you say. I'm going to do it anyway. Right. Okay, good. So check this out. Okay. I realized that contest seasons right now, people want to grow and learn and change. And if we think less about a piece of lucite or a trophy and think about how can I develop my skill? You don't need to be a trophy winner to be a good communicator. What? What did you say? You don't need to be a trophy winner to be a good communicator. And many people pursue a trophy. Well, here's an inside truth. The year I won the world championship, 1995, I was second in my club contest. I didn't win my, what? That's correct. I didn't win my club contest. So how in the round world did you get to the world championship? Well, not everyone knows this. But the rules in Toastmasters contest say in an area with 4 or fewer clubs, the district has the option to allow the first and second place winner to advance. If you didn't know that, go check your rule book. But it gave me a second chance to do what? Build my skill and become better at what I do. Now, people think, Mark, you're a world champion. You're all over the world. You are great. You're fantastic. Well, guess what? I am a dues-paying, card-carrying member of the Macon Toastmasters Club in Macon, Georgia. We're a small club, 12 people. We meet by hybrid meetings, but I maintain my membership. I pay twice a year because I see value in the program. Not only for speaking, but for speaking in real life. We talk about communicating in the 21st century, conversation, how we deal with people that we meet. I know people who say, you know what, I will quit Toastmasters when I can finally do a good table topic. Well, hear this. Table topics are critical parts of our program. We may think, I don't really need to do table topics. I want to do international contests. I want to be a world champion. I want to be a leader. I want to be a director. And it's great to have all those ambitions. But I'll tell you how table topics helped me. Several years ago in the mid-1990s, I was given the opportunity to attend a black tie event at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. I had to go and rent a tuxedo. I didn't own one. I was to represent Reader's Digest along with 8, 9 other people. They bought a table of 10. Now, to give you context, the Waldorf Astoria is now being renovated in New York. But I think the Waldorf Astoria, the rooms range from $2,000 to $10,000 per night. La-di-da. Black tie affair. I was told I was going to accompany the director of the Reader's Digest Foundation. Her name was Claudia. And they told me, you got to get a tuxedo. We'll send a car to pick you up. What? A black limousine for me, this skinny, knock-knee, buck-teeth Jamaican kid in a limousine with the director of the Reader's Digest Foundation. What? I said to her, Claudia, I don't do these events. I don't know how to behave. She said, Mark, just follow my lead. We pull up to the Waldorf Astoria in Manhattan in a black Lincoln Town Car limousine. The doorman opens the door for the car and Claudia steps out. I go up behind her, says, Mark, give me your elbow. She puts her hand in my elbow. We walk in very distinguished. I'm saying, please, I don't want to trip on the steps. We get inside. We're ushered in. We are announced. Claudia Edwards Watts, Mark Brown, Reader's Digest. We're shown to a reception area where people are mingling, having beverages and having nice little hors d'oeuvres. And for some reason, Claudia escapes. I don't know where she's gone amongst this crowd. And I'm new at this, my first black tie event. So I protect myself by going to a little bar where they had some nuts and some beverages. And I stood alone where I was safe. And I heard a voice. Oh, you like those nuts, don't you, young man? I turned to see a tall, distinguished, silver-haired man. I said, yes, sir, I'm a nut for nuts. He chuckled and he extended his hand. He said, I'm going to make up a name. Said, I am John Smith. I'm the chairman of the William Randolph Hearst Foundation. Big deal. And I said, hi, I'm Mark Brown, Reader's Digest. I shook his hand. And then he began to engage me in conversation. I can't tell you what it was about, but for 5 or 6 minutes, I had this conversation. Me, this kid from Jamaica with a high school diploma, having intelligent conversation with the chairman of the William Randolph Hearst Foundation, a pretty big deal in New York City, for 5 to 7 minutes. But I was able to hold my own, and Claudia finally reappeared, and I was fine. For one reason, I participated in table topics at my club, and I learned how to be a conversationalist, how to listen. You were told earlier, good communicators listen. I learned to listen to what he had to say, take time to formulate my answers, and have intelligent conversation. And he had no idea, and you have no idea, that to this day, at the age of 60, yes, I'm 60, but I look real good. I only have a high school education. Wait, you have a high school degree? You're talking to us? Well, we're a university here in Pakistan. It matters not what it says on the paper. My education came from 42 years of hard knocks in New York, raising my family, trying to be a good husband, and learning all I can and giving back and sharing what I know. You see, the Toastmasters program helps us grow in so many ways. Now, I do not discount the value of a degree. I want to be very clear on this. I have 3 children, 3 wonderful brats, offspring, 2 of whom have advanced degrees. One is a doctor of laws, okay? I believe in education. I want to clarify one thing. I came to America with $40. I had to go to work. I wanted to go to night school. My wife got pregnant, and we chose that she would stay and raise our kids the way we were raised. So I went to work. That's why I don't have a college degree. I used to be ashamed of that, but no. I've been blessed to speak to groups on 5 continents, almost 2 million people, okay? So I'm blessed to know that. I want to tell you something. With Toastmasters, you have a chance to learn so much and to do so much. It has blessed me in so many ways. And the way I have communicated has also blessed me. I've been given some opportunities. I told you I was blessed to speak on 5 different continents. One of the blessings I had was to be able to meet some very, very interesting people. I had a chance to, when I went to India a few years ago, I had a chance to meet a very interesting individual who chose to spend some time with me because he thought I was worth spending time with. And I'll show you briefly what happened when we got together. His name is Muhammad Asif Ali. He's part of the royal family in Chennai, India. And he met me. He said, Mark, come to the palace to have lunch with me. You and your wife come to the palace. I'm like, wait, I'm going to go to the palace in Chennai, India, hang out with the prince. I thought, oh my gosh, how scary is it? My wife and I went. We got to, the whole photograph thing with the prince and his wife in this great hall. But he was so cool. The man is a musician and the quiz master. We went to his studio and kind of hung out. We're playing keys together. Oh, this is cool. And I realized, you know what? I was given the privilege to stand before royalty because I took the time to develop a skill of communication. I'm not saying if you build a communication, you're going to be with royalty. You may, but more importantly, being able to communicate well will take you farther than you ever want to believe. I learned this. There are those who will judge you and judge me by how we communicate. They will assume on our education, our upbringing. They'll assume on our knowledge. They will make assumptions about who we are as individuals because of how we communicate. Toastmasters gives us a chance to build confidence as we communicate. And maybe you will stand before a king or a prince or somebody you want to say, will you marry me to? I don't know. But allow yourself, afford yourself the opportunity to communicate using this program. Not only that, we talk about communication and leadership. I'll say one more thing about communication. My kids are in their 30s. Well, my baby's 27. And they communicate a lot with this device. Millennials, they know this. I want to talk to you face to face. They just text. I watch my kids text each other across the same room, okay? To them, that's how they communicate. We have to be flexible. We have to understand that to some people, the best way to do it is through an email or through a text. And hopefully we'll spell everything out correctly and not use too many emojis. But even that is a means of communication. So while at the age of 60 and a half, I may want to fight that, I realize if that's how somebody on my team communicates with my kids and their friends, I need to learn how to communicate effectively depending on who I communicate with and how I communicate with them. I know our Toastmasters program will teach us to be good speakers, but to be good listeners, and also choosing the best medium of communication to meet the needs of the individuals to whom we communicate. It isn't about us. It's about them receiving our message, responding to our request, and following us as we lead them. Okay? Now, I said lead them. And in Toastmasters, we think of leaders as being club officers and area directors and so on. We understand that in terms of leadership. I learned a powerful lesson about leadership when I was much, much younger. And here's the thing. As a kid, I liked to play football. And I will say football because, I mean, to my North American friends, they say soccer. I say football. There's a photograph of me that was taken in 1979, okay? And I wanted to take a look at the photograph real quickly and just think about what you're seeing here. Now, I will confess, back in Jamaica in the 70s, we didn't have too many color photographs. There were none of my soccer team back then, my football team back then. But here is a montage, 2 photographs. Very quickly, that was taken after a game we played in a national stadium. And I'm the guy on the left with the high afro with a real serious face. Yes, I had hair back then, all right? Now, if you look closely, panel, stop laughing at me, buddy. Stop laughing at me. Okay. My bald brother. If you look closely, now, Panos, you know this. I'm the guy with the big hair behind the kid in the striped shirt. The 4 kids in front are the ball boys who get the ball out of bounds. We're on the team. We're taller guys. Now, Panos, I'm talking to you now, buddy. You'll see on my left arm. What do you see on my left arm, Panos? What do you see there? On my left upper arm. You know what that is?
You're wearing something around your biceps?
Yes, that's called a captain's armband. Now, back in the 70s, I was the only player in high school who wore a captain's armband. That meant for everybody watching, he's the guy in charge. These 2 photographs are also significant. We lost that game. But even if we lose, I told my team, heads held high, you form one line and you follow me. The second photograph, I'm at the very bottom, you'll see the armband here. And my entire team is in one straight line. They're following me because I'm the leader. I'm the captain. And I wore the captain's armband for a reason. You may think, hey, let the world know he's in charge. He's the captain. Yes. But I also wore it for me to remind myself of the responsibility. But here's the cool part, friends. Here's a really, really cool part, okay? You don't need a captain's armband to be a leader. You don't need a title of district director to be a leader. You don't need to be a club president to be a leader. Because if you have even a modicum of influence over one person, you're leading them. And here's the scary truth, my friends. We all have what I call invisible influence. Okay? We all have invisible influence. That's the influence we have when we don't even see it. When someone says, I want to be like you, and you didn't know that, Guess what? Our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our fellow Toastmasters are watching us. They're watching you. And there's somebody in your life who wants to be you. So let me ask you this. Are you leading in your home, your family, your neighborhood, your place of business, in your place of education? You don't need a title to lead, but if you know how to do something and someone follows you, you are leading them. If you're a parent, you are leading your child. We all can be leaders. We don't need the armband. We don't need the title. We just need a decision in our heart. What I learned, I will share. And I will help people to grow as well, because in the 21st century, we don't only need to rely on somebody with a title or an office. And here's the best part for me. There are individuals who hold offices, who hold titles, who lead countries, who are not very good at what they do, but they've been given the position. And sometimes you can even lead your own leader. What? Oh, yes. Sometimes you can lead your own leader, because I know good leaders, honest leaders know they don't know everything. And good leaders surround themselves with people who know more than they do and say, how can we do this well together? Let's not mistake the authority with the responsibility. And the best leaders know, I can't do that well. I'll find somebody who can help me to do it. So I encourage you all to be that kind of leader. Now, personally, part of me, and I know Cynthia will appreciate this, part of me is the heart piece. And I'm going to close with this. Here's a heart piece for me, okay? The heart piece for me comes from knowing that there are people who really do depend on me, who really do rely on me, and who want to follow my lead. And I've been blessed over the last 38 years to have people like that in my life. Matter of fact, next month, April 17th, I'll have the blessing of having spent 40 years with the same person in my life who calls me honey, my wife, and she's not left me yet. We can all lead a team. Here's my team, friends. And Panis, you know this, you know this team, Panis, already. But here's my team real quickly. Okay? This is my team. On the right is my son, David, my youngest. He's 27 now. He's in California studying music to be an engineer, a mixer, a composer. He's doing really, really well. Next to him is my wife, Andrea. Next month will be 40 years of marriage to me. God bless her. You will see a handsome young man with a big smile and a boutonniere on his collar and a three-piece suit. That's my son-in-law, Roland. He's married to my daughter, Andreen. I call her my princess. Of course, you know, she's the bride in the picture. That was their wedding day in August of 2020. And I was privileged, in the middle of the pandemic, I was privileged to be the officiant at my daughter's wedding. She's now 38. She is the first African-American, male or female, senior attorney where she works in her branch of the US government. An attorney with a Juris Doctor degree. That's me, proud papa. And beside me on the left is my son, Joel, who has got dual master's degree. He's in charge of staffing for a school system in Washington, D.C. And I told you, I value education. So I got one in school, two with senior degrees, and mom and me holding it down. These are the people who I've done my best to lead for the past almost 40 years and who I continue to invest my life in. And my daughter and I, we talk on the phone pretty much every single day. Why? Because my leadership extends beyond the work I do. It's part of who I am. So whether you know it or not, you are a leader of some sort, and you do have invisible influence. And friends, let's learn to communicate effectively in this 21st century, not only by delivering speeches, but by understanding what methods other people use, be it text, email, or WhatsApp. I crave the verbal face-to-face, but if that's going to help you to be effective, learn how to communicate in different ways to reach a broader constituency, and they'll look to you to not only communicate well, but to lead well. I believe we can all be effective communicators and leaders. And if you're not a Toastmaster, you have found a place where you can build these skills, broaden your understanding, build your confidence, expand your influence, and make a big difference to the world. So my friends, I want to wish you every success. I want to wish you every blessing. And I hope you'll make this day, every day, an outstanding day as you dream big and work bigger Let's build a stronger, better world this 21st century and beyond. I wish you all success and blessings, and thank you for the honor of serving you today. Over to you, Mr. Chairman. Unmute, please.
Yeah. The most common error these days. Wow, Mark, what a wonderful speech that was. You were amazing as always. Such an inspiration, such a wonderful speech that you delivered. And, you know, I guess I'm just out of words after that. And I must say that our audience enjoyed it as well. And I can see it in the chat box. As we are heading towards the close of our session, we will have a couple of words from our worthy Vice Chancellor, University of Education, Professor Dr. Talas Naseer Pasha Sitara Imtiaz. Dr. Naseer is a PhD in animal nutrition from West Virginia University of USA. He has over 35 years of teaching, research, and administration experience. He is one of the main forces behind our Toastmasters Club at the University of Education. Please put your hands together for Professor Dr. Talat Naseer Pasha.
I'm afraid DTM Sunair suffered that I think he's not at the moment here. So can we ask some questions from the students for Mark Brown's speech?
Yeah, we can take this wonderful opportunity to ask some questions from Mark. Mark, would you love to? I do believe you would love to answer those questions.
Honored at your service. I'm at your service, my friends. Honored to be at your service.
Wonderful, wonderful. Audience, please, feel free to raise a question in the chat box or raise your hand, and we'll give you an opportunity to ask whatever you want to ask from Mark, whether it's about communication, whether it's about leadership, whether it's about what to do in life. He has such a vast experience, and he can share some wonderful advice with you as well. So yeah, so we have a question in the chat box, and the question is coming from Ahmad Shafi. The question is, I can talk, but I lose confidence in new people. How can I improve on that? I believe Ahmad is facing an issue where when he is required to talk to a newer audience, he lacks confidence. Mark, what would you advise?
I've learned this. A good question, Ahmed. Good to see you there, by the way. Nice picture with the camera. I know many of us say, well, I get nervous, I'm not very confident. And we think we have this fear of public speaking. Let me say quickly, we don't have a fear of public speaking. We fear public embarrassment. I'll say it again. We don't fear public speaking. We fear public embarrassment. We think we're going to be judged by people. Understand this, and I really, with all my heart, believe this. Audiences don't want you to fail. They're there because they want to hear what you have to say. Audiences don't want you to fail. They are there because they want to hear what you have to say. And I think in terms of being more conversational, if we think I've got to give a speech, our brain is on the right words and the right speaking and the right sentence construction, which is good. But if we think conversationally, hey, I have worked so hard to prepare these thoughts for people, and they're here to hear it. I can't wait to give them the gift, what I've worked on. So perspective for me is different, right? We're all strangers. We meet people, we say hello, we begin conversations. It's not that different when giving a presentation to new people. If you know who you are, and if you know what you have to say, remember, there's always somebody who wants to hear it. More importantly, there's somebody who needs to hear it. So what I would do, I'd practice being conversational. I'd schedule, if you're offline, online, schedule a Zoom with a buddy. Just get together on Zoom and just talk about whatever comes to your mind, like a personal table topic session. Have your friend introduce somebody else to you. Talk with them. Get used to the idea of meeting new people in a friendly environment. Remember, they don't want you to fail. They don't want to think you're an idiot. They want to hear what you have to say. So be confident in what you know. The only caution I give is this. Whatever you prepare, make sure you're prepared. Because I lose confidence when I'm not prepared. Prepare yourself. Relax. Remember, they don't want you to fail. They want to hear from you. Give them the gift you've worked so hard to prepare. It might change your perspective and it might change your result.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your time.
You're welcome, Mr. Armband. Pleasure.
Our next question is from DTM Verna.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Hi, it's good morning. It's 10 a.m. here in the Bahamas. I would just like to say I'm glad I was invited and I came, and the DTM, Mark and Cynthia. One of the things I listened to you speaking from the heart is so much important. It's so important. One, two, we are our own worst critics. When we are thinking, oh, I sound so bad and da da da, the audience comes and they are so, listen, I cannot thank you enough, both of you. I listened to you this morning and you were speaking directly to me. I've served as division director, area director, those stuff, and I found it was so important that when you speak to a person, speak from your heart. And I always say to persons that you don't have to be a perfect speaker. Toastmasters doesn't say to you, you have to be a perfect speaker.
Correct.
No, you want to develop your confidence and your comfort level and speak to people and not at people. And I like that is what you gave me this morning. You're not standing up there and saying to me, oh, I have all these years of experience and this is what you should do, but you're speaking to us. And I think that that makes a good difference. So I'm going to find both of you and I'll stalk you. I'm going to stalk you for that one.
How we got panels to stalk me? So I'm just kidding. Now, I do want to respond, though, to one thing you said. You said, I am my worst critic. Please, I ask everyone to hear this. When we think of evaluations, particularly evaluating ourselves, what we tend to do is we tend to say, oh my gosh, my hair is a mess. I don't normally say that. Or I said, there. Or I pulled my ear that time. And we look for the things that we may have done poorly. I'm going to ask everyone here, please hear me. I'm going to ask you to begin to review your own, well, let me rewind that. Go back a little bit. Record yourself every chance you speak. Record yourself. And the hard part is to watch it. But watch it this time, not only for what you think you did wrong, but look for what you did well. Because when you do that, you will see clearly your growth. I didn't do that well the first time 6 months ago, but now I'm pausing more. In an online meeting, I do look at the camera. In a live meeting, I do look at the audience. In a live meeting, I'm smiling more. Online, I'm smiling more. I said that well. I did a good construction. My speech seems much more cohesive. Look for what you do well. We all too often only look for what we need improvement in. I encourage you, congratulate yourself when you do something well. It means you are progressing. Do not focus only on what you did poorly. Take that home and use it starting today. TM, I see Wasim.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, Wasim, yes.
Yeah, we do have a number of 20-year-olds in our audience, and they have a question for you.
Yes.
Aisha would like to ask, what would you recommend a 20-year-old in terms of dealing on professional level when you are new in your field?
First of all, that's a good question. What do I recommend for somebody who's 20 years old, who's new in the field? Youth has some advantages. It's a great time to learn all you can. Because you may be new in the field and inexperienced does not devalue you as a person. You are there for a reason. Take every opportunity to learn everything you can. Hopefully you can align yourself with a mentor in the organization who will see your potential and will be willing to invest in you. But it's a great chance to listen more, and Toastmasters will teach the skill of listening and evaluating. But also when you will hear in your work, you'll hear about processes and things and techniques that you're familiar with because you learned them. And if you are proficient at something, don't be afraid or ashamed to show the quality of your work. So there's two things involved in my opinion here. One is the quality of your work, and two is how well you communicate about it. To me, being able to learn the skills through Toastmasters early gives you a wonderful opportunity to be able to express yourself, to share your ideas, and to prove yourself, despite your youth, as being worthy of where you are. And I know so many people who are young people use the Toastmaster skills of communication. They couple that with their professionalism and they get fast-tracked on the job as well. But listen, learn. Don't be afraid to speak up. Build your confidence, and every chance you get, find someone who is where you want to be, latch on to them if they're willing to mentor you, and thus you can grow as well. And the last piece is, as you grow, give somebody else a chance to grow as well. Share what you learn. Mr. Chairman.
Mark, we have a question from Wasim Khalik Bhatti. Wasim, please go ahead and ask your question.
First of all, I'm really thankful to you for giving me an opportunity to speak to all of you. And I really just wanted to check whether I'm able to speak with all of you or not, because just Mark said that you just need a chance. And whenever you get a chance, you just need to nail it. This is yeah, this is my first time I'm speaking and I'm attending Toastmaster because one of my friend, he's also a co-host and his name is Azimullah. He usually attend every meeting here. So I thought that why not should I attend this? And this is my first time. And things which you told each and everything like us that you should be prepared really well. I'm from Pakistan, and you know I'm living in such area where English is not spoken, right? And if you are going to speak, you have lots of pressure on yourself that what you are going to speak, and people are not going to listen to you. Even at the moment when I press the button raise hand, my heart starts throbbing really fast.
Why?
Yeah, because you guys are professional. I really wanted to check whether I'm able to speak or not. No, I'm feeling really cool.
Good, you should, because if I were to poll the audience right now in the chat, Y for yes, N for no. Has he done a wonderful job of communicating? He's articulate. He has a language. He's doing very well with the language. I mean, I speak two languages. I speak English and poor English. And you handle the language very, very well. You seem confident, which means you may be better than you think you are. And most of us are. So I congratulate you for taking a chance to speak up, first opportunity, which now puts yourself in a place where when asked again, you will simply say yes, because it's a wonderful way to learn and to grow quickly. So I thank you for the comment, and I applaud you for standing up and speaking up for the first time, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much. That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Wasim, for taking this opportunity. Next up, we have a question that I can definitely relate to because I still classify myself as an introvert. And the question is, how can an introvert come out as a communicative person?
Surprise, surprise. Mark Brown, world champion, is an introvert. I am. And people think if you're introverted, it means you're shy. No, an introvert chooses when to engage and when to be quiet. You give me a chance after this, I will just decompress and I'll relax. I'll be hiding in the background. I don't need to have the spotlight, because we don't think because I'm shy, I can't speak. You have something to say. You bring value to every organization, every group you're a part of. And if you're introverted, it doesn't mean you can't speak. You can choose when to speak. You won't come into the room, hi, I'm here, I'm the life of the party. You can now stop because I'm here. We don't do that. We choose when to speak, but when you do get the opportunity, and I go back to when you're prepared, you then speak with confidence of that which you have prepared. But introverts often choose not to be in the forefront. We don't want to be pushed to the forefront. We want to choose when to go to the forefront, but please don't think because you are more reserved, you don't have value for your audience. You can have quiet confidence and dispense wisdom without realizing it. So please understand, you have value, you have something to say, and the Toastmasters organization is a wonderful place for you to become more comfortable, especially among strangers, because remember, Toastmasters don't want you to fail. You will never find a more encouraging, supportive people than in Toastmasters, because everyone wants to grow together and everyone wants to encourage each other. That's the culture of the organization, which is why I've still maintained my membership now for almost 30 years. So from one introvert to another, be encouraged. It's the best place to learn and grow.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. I can definitely relate to it. And yeah, that's true. Introverts only need to, take that step and speak up. But yeah, that doesn't mean that they are afraid of speaking. They just choose when to speak and when not to. And that's so true. I can fully relate to it. Thank you, Mark. That has been a wonderful session. I can still see some questions coming in, but we are short of time and we need to close this session, which has been a wonderful, wonderful evening here in Lahore. And thanks to all our speakers who have joined us from across the world. And some of you must have some really odd times there. And we're thankful to you that you could join. In order to give a thank you note speech, we have two actually speakers who would like to do that. First of all, our division director, Toastmaster Ghulam Abbas. Toastmaster Ghulam Abbas, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, DTM Zunair Zafar. A man is as big as his dreams. And these high dreamers, in fact, help the people to get the great ideas. And definitely a man can go as further as his dream carry him to. And I would also say that a man is as big as his ideas. And today we got this great opportunity to learn the great ideas from some wonderful speakers like Mark Brown and Cynthia, and also some district leaders. So thank you. I would say thank you to all these distinguished speakers joining us today, making this event a memorable event, not only for us at District 122, but also for the UE students. And there was much more learning for the students as well. So thank you so much all for joining us. And at last, but not the least, I would also say a big thank you to Dr. Humaira Irfan, who worked tirelessly to make this leadership conference a big event. Thank you so much. Back to you, DTM Zunair Zafar. Are you there?
Or yes, I am here.
Yes,
thank you, Toastmaster
thank you.
Abbas.
Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. And now our co-host, Toastmaster Humaira Irfan, President, UE Toastmasters Club, and co-host for this conference. Toastmaster Humaira.
Thank you very much, DTM Zunair Zafar. So I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of Education, Professor Dr. Talat Nasir Pasha, Sitare Imtiaz, for his kind support and who had given us the opportunity to organize this conference. I also would like to thank Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Muhammad Arshad, and Director, Division of Arts and Social Sciences, Professor Dr. Wahidur Rahman, and Chairperson, Department of English, Dr. Mubashir Nadeem. Now, I would like to thank international speakers, DTM Mark Brown and DTM Cynthia Scott, for their fantastic, very impressive speeches. And I would also thank the district leaders and panelists, DTM Talab bin Hamid, DTM Omer Malik, DTM Atif Irfan, and Toastmaster Azim Ali, Toastmaster Adnan Khokhar. And in the end, I would like to thank Toastmaster Ghulam Abbas, who has collaborated with Division A Director, and he has collaborated with us. And the collaboration was quite wonderful and smooth. I'm also thankful to distinguished Toastmaster Zunair Zafar And he is a wonderful master of the ceremony. And the last and not the least, I would like to thank the students of University of Education. I hope they enjoyed the sessions and they found the speeches of international speakers as well as panelists quite productive and interesting. I hope they learned the tips of leadership and public speaking, and they are going to use them in their practical life. Thank you very much. Over to Master of the Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Humaira, for your kind words. And I really appreciate all the team that worked together to make this event possible. This brings us to the end of our ceremony. Usually in-person meetings, we do have group photos, unfortunately, and these virtual sessions, the only thing that we can do is ask everyone to please switch on your cameras, show your smiling faces. We'll take a screenshot and it will, as always, be a memory and a memorable picture that you can always use. So please go ahead, show your faces, switch on your cameras, show how happy you are and how wonderful this session has been and how enjoyable it has been, so that we can save this memory and cherish it. And with this, while all of you are switching on your cameras, I would like to thank you all for joining in and hope that this was a valuable session for you. Thanks to all the speakers, all the participants, all the people who made this event possible behind the curtains. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay happy.
Sir, I
keep pushing
have
yourselves.
a question, sir, if you don't
And
mind.
yes, the session is over. We can chat. You can ask any question to anyone. Go ahead.
Sir, I need to say I want to get this clip to motivate my friends.
Yes, the event has been recorded. You can connect with Toastmaster Humaira and she'll be able to share this recording. And also you can ask your friends to join a Toastmasters meeting, whether in UE Toastmasters Club or in any Toastmaster Club in Lahore, in Pakistan, or anywhere in the world. Only thing that you need to do is go to Toastmasters website and search for a club near them. Get in contact with them, and my experience has been whichever club you contact, they always welcome you to attend wherever you are in the world.
Sir, how I can contact with ma'am?
I would like to inform the students that the video link will be shared shortly on UE Toastmasters Facebook page. So you can join the page and you can view the video from there. Okay.